What's up everyone, Collector Joey here, back again with another unboxing, and today we are going to be unboxing Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Kenobi series. This has been a figure I have been waiting for so long to get, and it's finally here 2 years later. Anyways guys, let me know what you think about this figure down there in the comment section below. Also, while you're down there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get to the video. And here is the box for the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. I can't believe I finally have this thing in hand. I've been waiting for the longest, and now it's here in front of me. We do have the normal Star Wars box right here, of course, with that band going all the way around the sides and everything like that. We do have a picture of Kenobi right there holding a stormtrooper, and then we have Obi-Wan Kenobi DX26. 1/6 scale collectible figure, and then the figure front and center right there with the Sideshow exclusive logo. And then on the left side we have another picture of Kenobi right there with his robe on, and then on this side it just says Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then if you go to the back, we do have the normal, whodunits and all the warning stuff and everything. But enough with that, let's actually get this thing open. Now, since this is a DX figure, we do get a really premium unboxing, and I'm already loving it. We have this blue going on all the way around, and then we have the reflective Star Wars logo right here. You do have Kenobi and then Vader right there with all the Inquisitors as well. This just looks so good. Now, I believe, oh, and there's some more, artwork that spills off to the side. You have the Disney logo, and then on the back, let's see, kind of the same writing, but we do have just some artwork there. Looks cool, but let's get this open. It should open from the side. This is how DX usually works. And we have some more of that, and it looks like we actually have the battle damage Vader now. And then the Kenobi where he's fighting him with the rocks behind him. Absolutely love it. It's beautiful. You can have this as artwork. You can take it like off and set it somewhere. I love when they do this with DX figures. But time to see what is behind this, and there he is, Kenobi. Finally, I can see what this guy looks like, and first impressions, just seeing him right here, it looks awesome. So let's take a look at this guy, and we'll take him out of the foam, which is always with DX, of course, and let's look at that head sculpt. There he is. Wow. That looks really good, guys. I think this is a hit right here, man. Looks awesome. I do see a lot of the foam in between the hair. I guess that's for shipping purposes. You can see there's some right here as well. It's all throughout the hair, so I'm gonna have to take that off. But first impressions are, I thought that the suit would be a little bit more tighter than this. I don't know why, but it feels great, looks great. First impressions, like I said, looking good. I can already see there's no split cut boot, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But man, I'm liking this so far. Let's get into the accessories now. I'm pretty sure there's a few of them. I do have an exclusive thing right here we'll take a look at as well. But yeah, let's get to it. So what I'll start off with is pulling off this first layer right here to show us some of the accessories. Now, I forgot what you exactly get with this, so it might not be a lot. It might just be this stuff and the rocks that make it so heavy, but we'll see right now. Let's go. All right, so first tray right here, I believe is this exclusive. Let's see, let's open this up. If I can get it open without making everything fall. There we go. Okay, so obviously I'm gonna take out the rocks. They are in plastic as well. They're not too heavy, but if you do have a lot of them, they might be heavy. So I'm gonna take out all these, and then what we're left with in this tray is this box right here. And now I already know what this is. So this is what it looks like without it being open, or with it being open inside. As you can see, nothing in there, but that means we have to take this cloak out and put the lightsabers in it. Here's the cloak. They did wrap it in some plastic, Now what I'm doing is throwing the cloth in here because I believe it's like that. And then you have Anakin's lightsaber right here. And then we need to get Kenobi's a little bit later, but there we go. That's one saber in there. Done with that right now. We'll get back to that a little bit later. Take out this foam. Like I said, there might be just a lot of rock right here. Let's see. Then we got the instruction manual. Nobody really reads that, but exactly what we're going to do with that is throw it over there. Got the cloak right here. We'll look at that a little bit more, but here is a lot of the accessories we have under this clamshell. So here is what the tray looks like with all the accessories in it. There's a lot in here, especially this base right here, but we're going to start off on the left side. So first accessory we have up here is Lola. This is really cool. I'm surprised they actually gave us this with him. It's something I wouldn't use, but it is a nice touch if you want to lay it on the base or something like that. You always can. But this looks cool. I don't know, does it open? I forgot if it opens or not, but I guess it doesn't. But there it is right there. Very nice attention to detail on such a small accessory. Next up, we do have the Bail Organa hologram right here. This looks great. I actually really like this just because it does give off that appearance of a hologram, but this puck under it really sells it because it is shiny. It's not metal, but it looks like it is. And if you put it in his hand, it will fit perfectly and make it actually look like it's projecting something. I like it. Next up, we do have these binoculars right here. They were Kenobi's when he was checking up on Luke. Not a lot of detail on them, but it does look good in some parts. There's no weathering really. He did use this a lot in the sand, so you would think there would be weathering, but there really isn't. It's just this, but I bet a good pose would be him, you know, sitting back and looking through them like he did in the show. Next accessory we have here is his pistol or his blaster. This looks good, but like I said, another part where it's not weathered that much. You would think this would be weathered. There would be like sand in between some of the crevices. It's a good, you know, blaster, but I wish it was more weathered. You also have a few different hand sculpts right here. You have a relaxing one, and they did have some details in the veins as well. You have lightsaber holder right here. Looks great. The veins are on like all of them. And it looks like they tried to paint them a little bit of a different color so they pop out more. Like, you know, you could see how blue your veins are sometimes. You got this, looks like he's pulling the Steph Curry, but I think this is a lightsaber holding hand as well. But he holds it like this in the show, if I'm correct. And then he does do his famous peace sign when he's going off with the saber or about to fight. This looks awesome. I love it. And just some more gesturing hands. This one might be holding a saber or something else, but looks good. Assortment of hands are awesome. It looks like we get a few, and there's some on the figure as well. Then we do have his lightsaber, or his hilt, I shall say. Right here, it is painted very, very well. There's a lot of detail in this. Just no weathering again. You can put on this, which will look like a saber without having any light on it, but you're going to need some light. So they do include a USB saber right here. I'll show here in a second, but looks good. This actually isn't transparent at all. The blade isn't, at least. Now they have it to where it has some type of, I don't know what it's called, but it looks like there's bubbles inside. That might catch light a little bit more, so it could light up better. Then you also do have a swap out swoosh effect right here. I won't be using this, but you have that option as well. Now let's look at that USB one. Now here we have the USB lightsaber. I did already plug it in here, but it does come with a wire that comes out of here. And we have the USB-C cord that they do not provide. You have to have your own. And I'll plug it in and let's see what this looks like. I'll have to put the blade in there. Let's see, where's the blade? All right, blade is in. Let's turn it on and see what it looks like. Boom, there you go. So I do have a lot of light around here, but I will say it does look a little bit brighter than before. This looks actually not too bad. The only bad part is that it is very bright down here, and as it goes up, it does get, you know, a little dimmer. I don't like that look. So I have a few CCFLs already. Might get another one for this guy because I already have one with Vader, but looks great. Love it. I think this is a good idea. They might get better over time with this. You do have a few things to attach this box to his belt or to his base pole. I guess you could say it's right here. So those are some options that you could do, but it looks great overall, like I said. And the last accessory will be this base. This looks absolutely beautiful. This is a kind of reuse of the Mark 50 base. They've always used it, but it does feel a little bit more different. It feels more rough, I guess you could say. And then you plug the base pole in there, this thing right here. Here it is. And then all you got to do is just push it in. And there it is. It has the pole on there. And then what you're going to want to do is put all these different things over this, like so. I'm not going to do it all right now, but I will show you it a little bit later. And then you add rocks onto this thing sticking out. So it's easier than it looks, but I like it. I like the concept so far. And we also have the robe right here. So I'll show this on the figure right now. Now I did want to show the figure with the Jedi robe on. I think that's what it's called. It might be something else, but this thing is actually easier to put on than the other ones. Usually you have to, you know, feed the whole arm through a whole sleeve. This just has the sleeves cut off. I think it looks pretty good with it on. The only thing I don't like is the hood. Maybe without the hood it looks a little bit better, because I just cannot mold this to where it looks like it's legit on his head. You can just see it's floating above his head right there. So if you take it off, you can see it does look a lot better. I like it. And it also does have some wire down here at the bottom all the way around, but nothing like no wire or anything throughout right here. But it does also have wire on the hood, so you can have it like falling down or just like over his head or things like that. But I think the look is like having it, you know, look like it's straight down from behind. So that's awesome. But now that we've talked about the accessories, let's get back to the figure itself. And back to the figure itself. And like I said earlier, this thing is beautiful. I think it looks really good. There's that head sculpt again without all the plastic on it, and it looks phenomenal. There is a lot of very small or thin individual hair sculpts that are within all the regular sculpted hair. There's this too. It's just everywhere. I like it a lot, and that's kind of what the protection was all for around his head. The beard is actually pretty good. It doesn't have that walrus effect to me, and there's this, the skin tone is what's really getting me. They did it really good this time, but I will say they are starting to do this system where you have this right here, and it doesn't key in the best, but this guy also does have some rolling eyeballs effect. So you can see if I move it over, his eye is moving. So that's how you kind of move the eyes around. I don't want to now I messed it up. Now I won't be able to get it back to where it was. There we go. But you got to make sure you key in the head sculpt right so it's not too high. But there you go. The tunic, I think that's what it's called, the tunic, the Jedi tunic looks good. Nice color, reminds me of the show, so that's good. You do have a lightsaber or hilt holder right there. Some oh, you have a holster for his blaster right there. You have a pouch as well. It's sculpted, and then the belt goes all the way around to the back. It looks like it's held on by some Velcro. And then, you know what, right here is where I like it a lot, but it doesn't have a split cut boot, so it's just all hard plastic, and it would be hard to get him in a pose. But I love this wrapping. It looks weathered, how it should, but the boots don't look as weathered as this wrapping though, unfortunately. But it is wrinkled, and it plays the part of it, but I mean, you don't really have any type of weathering on this at all. There's the tread as well. This is a very simple figure. There's nothing crazy about it. That's why I was wondering why it was taking so long to get this figure out. Maybe it was just the head sculpt, but I do want to show you some articulation. So first off, we have the head, of course, can go all the way 360 around. You can move the arms pretty pretty easily. They kick out to the side like about this much. That's as far as you could probably go. And then forward, a very good amount, and then back, very good amount as well. You can really pose this thing good. You do have that double jointed elbow as well, and then the legs can kick out to the side pretty far, guys, right there, and then forward about that far, and then backwards about that far. Nothing crazy. And then the knee is of course double jointed as well, and there is zero articulation in the ankle, nothing at all. So that's gonna annoy me a lot. But anyways, I am going to pose this guy up with the rock base and everything so y'all can see it, and we're going to talk about some pros and cons, and I might also compare this figure to the Darth Vader, the Kenobi Darth Vader. So that's going to be fun. Let's get to it. So for a quick comparison, I wanted to show this Kenobi next to its companion piece, the battle damaged Vader. These two figures complement each other very well and complete a very iconic scene from the Star Wars universe. Now here we have Kenobi by himself on that beautiful base with the rocks floating. This looks outstanding. The fact that Kenobi's body does hide the acrylic poles pulls off that illusion so much more. It actually looks like the rocks are floating. But let's get to some pros and cons. My first pro would have to be the boots. Now, I know I bashed them for not having a split cut, but the detail on them is pretty great. Even though there is no weathering, the wrinkling and the wraps look so good and realistic. The second pro would have to be the tailoring and how the Jedi tunic all stays together and looks like it has multiple layers. Also, the shade of gray looks spot on from the show. The next pro I have is the head sculpt. I think this head sculpt is phenomenal and a huge upgrade from what the prototype was. I think it was well worth the wait if this was the reason for the holdup. To my last pro, it's going to be the base. Despite it being a reuse base, this is absolutely gorgeous with the floating rocks, and the acrylic being able to be hidden behind Kenobi is awesome for the illusion of the floating rock, like I said earlier. Of course, with some pros, there is going to be some cons, but there's not many with this figure. So my first con would have to be the neck. I feel like this Kenobi is dealing with a slight long neck syndrome, so posing him will be difficult to try to hide that long neck. Second con would have to be the lack of weathering. Mostly everything on this Kenobi is super clean and not weathered like it should be. He's been hiding out so long in the desert, you'd think he'd have weathering in his shoes at least, but there's nothing there. Last con would have to be the wait time for this. I waited over 2 years for a generic Jedi outfitted figure, which is very ridiculous, but I will say if the reason for that was fixing the head sculpt, I get it. But overall, I would have to give this Kenobi figure a 9.2 out of 10. I would recommend this figure to any Obi-Wan Kenobi fan or someone who already has the battle damaged Vader and just never pulled the trigger on this Kenobi. This figure is something I'm proud to have in the Star Wars collection, and I finally am completing one of the most iconic battles in Star Wars history. But I want to know what you think about this figure down there in the comment section below. Also, while you're down there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more unboxing and 6 scale news. It's been Collector Joey. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.